Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, last one of the night and a great one. I love this one. Always like to finish on a good one. Definitely hit the like on this, and if you're yet to subscribe, absolutely subscribe. I've been saying for some time that we need to defund the BBC. They're no longer representative of us, the people. They represent some little strange North London Islington set with their lefty woke agenda, where every character's got to be race replaced. Every group has got to have at least one gay person, one lesbian, one black person, one Asian person, one person with a leg missing or something like that. There's got to be this diversity bullshit forced in, even in things which are 100% white. For example, if they did Scott of the Antarctic, you'd probably have about 4 black people in it. Because, hey, never mind reality, we've got to do diversity. I guarantee if they did a thing about North Africa, you wouldn't see a white face in it, would you? But anyway, because so many people have now already decided, you know what, paying a TV licence, not for me, governor, no way, baby. They're not doing it. And so the BBC are running out of money, quite literally. And they want to cut back on TV news because apparently it's very expensive and not many people watch it. Indeed, if I said that the BBC News, which used to be the single most watched news broadcast in Britain, the 9 o'clock news was number 1. I think ITN, as it used to be, 10 o'clock news was number 2, and the sort of early evening news from the BBC was number 3. And nobody watched ITV, early evening news. And the only reason, I'm going to say this as an aside, the only reason so many people watched the 10 o'clock news is that 10 o'clock was after Parliament closed and they got all the votes through, and that's where some of the big stories happened right at the end of the parliamentary session. But the BBC were 9 o'clock and ITV was 10 o'clock. But that aside, nobody watches ITN now because ITN doesn't exist. You don't get news on ITV anymore. Have you noticed that? There just isn't there. It's only the BBC and Sky that do news. And here's the thing. Both of them are losing money. In fact, Sky News is losing so much money, it may well be closed, leaving just the BBC as a television, and Channel 4, but who the hell watches Channel 4, as the 2 television news channels. Both of them extremely far left. So the BBC saying, we can't afford to do this. So they're cutting. They want to cut. They want to cut their quota for 106 hours of news a week to 70 hours of news a week. And they're arguing that they have to adapt to the changing viewer habits and lack of cash. The changing viewer habits are because nobody watches BBC News. Indeed, there was a broadcast not so long ago, and I can't remember exactly the date, but effectively there were so few people watching a BBC News output, mid-afternoon one of the mid-afternoon news things, that literally nobody was watching it. I'm not saying nobody was watching it. What I mean is statistically so few were watching it that it didn't even register. That is the BBC now, because nobody watches them, because nobody believes them. They look at this organisation, they don't trust it. Now, they have to go to Ofcom because they are guaranteed by law that they have to produce so much news. And Ofcom, who are merciful, will probably allow them to cut it. Ofcom are not merciful, but they'll probably allow them to cut it, because what else can they do? But the BBC said, these proposals reflect changing viewing habits and aim to focus on delivering new, high-quality content while achieving greater value for money for licence fee payers, those few people that still pay it. We remain committed to providing high-impact current affairs programming, as shown in our recent Panorama investigation into Charing Cross Police Station. And yes, I did say Charing Cross. Some people think I'm mad and they say it's Charing. I say it's only got 1 R. Anyway, media is changing. More people watch YouTube for their news than any other outlet in Britain. And indeed, I will say I've had videos that more people have watched my video than the BBC Evening News. That is how far the BBC has fallen. So all I say to you good people out there in YouTube land, if you feel like dropping your TV licence, and you must, I'm not invited, I've got to be careful how I place this. I don't want to be done for intent, but should you decide to do so, that's up to you. I couldn't comment. You may choose to just drop and not pay the BBC for their terrible output, but I couldn't possibly comment. I will say, however, I don't pay it because I don't watch it. I live on YouTube now, and it's free. But imagine if hundreds of thousands of people overnight just said, do you know what? Nah. What would the BBC do? If nobody paid, what would the BBC do? They couldn't make bank next week, because they couldn't even pay the salaries. All these people on hundreds of thousands a year. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Think of the savings. Think of the benefit of not having a BBC licence fee. It would force the BBC into the real world. If they reckon they're so good, let them go become a subscription service and see how many people are willing to pay for their leftist woke shite that they pump out. I suspect not as many as they think. Because I can't think of anything on BBC that I would actually settle down and choose to watch. Because it's all utter bollocks. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much. What a wonderful way to end the day. And we'll start the whole circus again tomorrow. And till then, thank you very much. Hit subscribe, hit like, and enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.